Welcome everyone to my review of IDW Sonic issue 33. Today not only marks the start of a new story arc, but the debut of a new main writer, Evan Stanley. Yeah, in case you missed it, longtime head writer Ian Flynn is stepping down for a while, and Evan will be taking over the reins. I think she can do it. Besides that one fanfic series she writes and illustrates, she's done a story arc for Archie's Sonic Universe, and worked on 2 short stories for the IDW annuals. Now it's time for the big leagues. This issue, as you'll see, can serve as a jumping on point to the comic. Most of the major story arcs so far are done, however, there is one plot thread remaining that'll kick things off. Warning, spoilers from here on out. E123 Omega was torn to pieces by Zombots, with only his head remaining. After the Mel virus was destroyed, Dr. Eggman made his escape with Omega's head in tow. He placed it in a new identical body, which in turn was placed into a mech. The idea being that Eggman would tap into Omega's systems to attack Sonic's friends. Things turned around when Sonic arrived and freed Omega. The robot obliterated the mech, but he utilized so much firepower, he literally fell apart. Again. Tails will have his work cut out for him. We begin at Tails' workshop where Amy's gathered all the body parts she could. Rouge provides Tails with blueprints from Eggman's spaceship. Unfortunately, the information is complete gibberish. He'll need to get into an Eggman base computer to get the cipher for some decoding. Sonic, who's been relaxing outside, knows of an old Eggman base near Windmill Village, the place where the doctor stayed at while he was Mr. Tinker. That'll hopefully take care of that problem, but there's still the matter of body parts. While Tails is a genius, he cannot fabricate the right parts with his equipment. He may be able to do something if he got an E100 series parts set, but those are rare. Rouge has a solution for that. She tells them about how White Park, yes, that one, is the place to find stuff like salvaged Eggman tech, if you know who to talk to. The person in question is Clutch, a possum who's amassed a vast amount of technology and is willing to make the odd trade under the table. He's also the reigning champion of White Park's Chao Racing circuit, which means they'll use the Chao Races as a cover. They'll just need one more person to make this work. Amy calls the Rabbit residents to ask Vanilla for permission for Cream and Cheese to join them for the Chao Races. She says it's to help out Omega, and he deserves the same chance as Gemerol. Speaking of, Gemerol's still a bit banged up from last time, but he's in much better shape than Robotic Potty Mouth over here. Cream is on board if this adventure will fix Gemerol as well. Since Gemerol and Amy will be present, Vanilla gives the A-OK for Cream and Cheese to go to White Park. At the Eggman base, Tails wonders why it was abandoned, and Sonic teases that it must be haunted by ghost badniks and ghoulies. You may joke, Sonic, but unbeknownst to you two, there is something wandering the hallways. They find a room with a computer terminal, a room that's also filled with stuffed Sonic dolls, Knuckles dolls, and Tails dolls. Not the Tails doll, thankfully. That's the last thing this continuity needs. Let's cut over to the group heading towards White Park in Amy's pink cabriolet. Funny that she's driving this thing going to a race rather than actually racing it for a change. Suddenly, a wild shadow appears. Seriously, Amy was so distracted by the sights, she almost hit him. He has his own reasons for being out here, and doesn't join them on their journey to fix Omega. Well, that was random. The group arrives at the races, and we learn that Omega's head's here too, inside a suitcase. How much more dignity can Omega lose at this point? The MC of the Grand Prix, none other than Omochao, has announced that the qualification race will begin soon. Rouge, under the alias Facet, lies that Cheese is her Chow, so they can register, much to Cream's ire. Hey, as Omochao, or one of his copies, states, children cannot participate in the races. Before the race begins, Rouge and Amy spot Clutch. Yeah, look at this guy. Furry coat, gold tooth. Yeah, that's a winner, alright. The race begins, and Cheese is holding his own against the main participants. One of them, a dark child that has traits of Shadow, decides to play dirty. Thanks to Cream and Amy's cheers, Cheese gets his second wind and dashes across the finish line to qualify for the Grand Prix. Oh, and that Shadow Chow? It belongs to Clutch. I wonder if that's important. Clutch goes over to the girls to introduce himself and invites Rouge to his penthouse apartment before leaving. Amy thinks this is way too easy, but Rouge assures her that she'll be fine. She heads over to Clutch's apartment where inside, yeah, he's amassed quite a bit of technology and some pretty jewels too. She finds Clutch sitting in his chair. I guess that furry coat's just for show. Clutch reveals that he knows who Rouge is. Given how famous the treasure hunter is, it shouldn't come as a surprise someone like Clutch would know about her. He's still willing to deal though. What it comes down to is, if Cheese wins the race tomorrow, he'll give her anything she wants. There is one catch though. He also wants Cheese. Oh, Cream is not going to like that. Rouge will think about the offer and makes her way towards the door. Of course, she has no intention of trading Cheese. What she does do is secretly place Omega's head among the tech pile before leaving. In the hallway, Rouge is confronted by a fur-coated individual. Fur-Coat has actually been watching Amy's group since their arrival, so this encounter is not completely out of nowhere. Whoever this is removes the hood, and it's someone Rouge recognizes. We don't get to see who it is, unfortunately. Outside, we learn why Shadow's in White Park. He's following rumors about a bot trader in the area. In other words, he's after Clutch too. He spots Fur-Coat, who's glowing yellow, flying onto the roof, carrying something or someone. Shadow goes to confront this individual, who then turns blue and speeds off. Shadow gives chase and Fur-Coat turns red. Wait a minute, if yellow means flight and blue means dash, that means red is power. The issue ends with Fur-Coat knocking Shadow off the roof. What started as a task to rebuild Omega is becoming a bit more complicated, at least on the Amy, Rouge, and Cream end. So far, things on the Sonic and Tail end are going smoothly. There is that shadowy figure running around the base. Before anyone comments, I've seen the New York Comic Con videos. I know who this is, and the possible connection to another character. I'll address it more when this plot thread gains traction throughout the arc. I will say that I like the brotherly dynamic between Sonic and Tails, and the creepy atmosphere of this base. It does remind me a bit of Final Egg with its hallway designs and the collection of dolls used to train robots like E-102 Gamma. Hold on a second, I have a feeling we the audience have been here before. We'll have to see. One more thing related to Tails. Kudos to the comic for once again establishing that while he has an intellect that rivals Eggman, it doesn't mean he's an instant expert on all of his technologies. He'll need blueprints to the code and the necessary parts from the black market. Without these limitations, we wouldn't have a story otherwise. The main focus of this issue is the establishment of White Park and its Chao Races. It's amusing that a concept used in Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 would have a dark element to it. Said dark element would be Clutch. Never mind that he's amassed a large collection of technology and treasure through underhanded deals. What about his skills as a trainer? He says he treats his Chao well, as long as they win for him. I hate to think what kind of training he puts them through. Heck, I hate to think what happens to the Chao if they start losing. You kinda hope Cheese would lose so that he wouldn't be in this guy's clutches, pardon the pun. But then Amy and company would miss out on the chance for some E-Series parts. Rouge has a plan involving leaving Omega's head in the room, however plans have been known to derail. For example, the appearance of Fur-Coat and the apparent kidnapping of Rouge. Is this individual one of Clutch's lackeys? What's with the ability to utilize all the powers of a Sonic Heroes team? Rouge knows who it is underneath the hood. Is it someone we know, or another new character? This issue has so many questions. Like the question of why Shadow is here. I'm not going to give him the stink eye yet. He is unaware that his goals and the goals of Amy's group are linked. Though, if he's heard a rumor of a bot trader at White Park, and Amy brought up going to White Park to help Omega, he would have at least put 2 and 2 together. It's that kind of thinking that got him infected in the first place. Things aren't all bad. Cheese proves he has the stuff to compete in the races despite the odds, and Cream and Amy are having a good time watching and cheering him on. Update: I just found out some behind the scenes information about Cheese after I recorded this video. Evan Stanley revealed that Sega had asked her to change Cheese's pronouns from he, him to they, them. Chao are genderless, and it's now official policy to use gender-neutral terms. That's an odd thing to enforce all of a sudden. Why didn't they do that when Cheese was introduced back in issue 18? For that matter, why didn't Sega hammer in this concept much sooner? It would have saved a lot of confusion. The pronouns did switch between he and they in this issue only because Evan missed it in her proofreading. From here on out, Cheese will be referred to as they in the comic. As far as retcons go, it's minor in the grand scheme of things. Though I bet there are a number of Sonic fans will balk at this idea. In my opinion, nothing can top that whole classic Sonic actually being from another dimension rather than being from the past thing. Jeez, that was stupid. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled review already in progress. Relatively speaking, this arc's a lighthearted romp compared to the Megavirus saga. No matter how dark things go, nothing can compare to the Robo-Zombies. Some of the lightheartedness goes to the art style. Evan also did the pencils, and Reggie Graham did the colors. Both have worked on other issues, but there's something different about this one. If you look at the characters and objects, a lot of them use darker versions of their colors as their inner outlines instead of the usual black. At times, this style can resemble a painting. Evan is off to a strong start, providing nods to the games here and there, and dressing the girls up in their winter outfits from Sonic Channel. Sonic Channel, we deliver throughout the multiverse. Let's hope the next issue starts answering some of the questions I've asked, and hopefully things at the Chao Races don't go too south. I'll see you in issue 34. Why is there a Dark Chao that strongly resembles Shadow? You don't think Shadow at one point... Nah, he couldn't have. Or could he?